What's going on is Anton from antondaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. I want to give you guys an update and bring you up to speed on what's going on with this Shannon Sharpe situation. Per The Athletic, ESPN has cut ties with Shannon Sharpe less than 2 weeks after he settled a lawsuit in which his ex-girlfriend accused him of rape. Sources tell Andrew Marchand. Sharpe has not been on the network since late April. ESPN declined to comment. Now, let me give y'all a little bit of an update, right? And that Shannon Sharpe stepped away from ESPN. And I also got to give Jason Whitlock a little bit of credit because a while ago, Jason Whitlock actually called it. He said that Shannon Sharpe is not going to be going back to ESPN. And I vividly remember it because I was thinking to myself, I don't know. Shannon Sharpe is a pretty good asset. And in my opinion, a lot of things can be overlooked when you're bringing in ratings. A lot of things can be overlooked when you're generating revenue for the network. They're willing to endure with you or maybe not, right? Because obviously we see that they don't see that Shannon Sharpe is valuable enough to the brand, to the Disney brand. Because remember, ESPN is owned by Disney. He is not valuable enough to the Disney brand for them to continue to do business with him. Now, I am also pretty sure, because that's the way that things goes like this, I'm pretty sure that in his contract, there was a provision that highlighted how, ESPN wouldn't necessarily be liable for keeping him on the network if he found himself at the behest or in a situation where his integrity or his reputation were called into question. And this is one of the reasons why it's important for us to have this conversation, is that dick discipline. And I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. Dick discipline is highly important for guys that get into a situation or find themselves where they are very much valued or they generating revenue or they got a lot of motion. There is nothing like a chick, a baddie, a snow bunny, whatever you want to call them. There is nothing like a woman to stop the motion that has a very, very highly efficient fleecing lawyer on their side to help themselves retire at your behest. And they successfully did it. They successfully finessed. I don't believe that Shannon Sharpe was guilty of the things he was being accused. But when you are a public figure, it really doesn't matter whether or not you believe it or not. The only thing that matters is public perception and whether or not you are going to be a hindrance to the brands you do business with. Now, I also seen that Shannon Sharpe, while he was going through his proceedings to where he was being sued for $50 million and then the chick ultimately wound up leaving OnlyFans the day after the settlement. And I'm pretty sure that Tony Buzbee, who was the lawyer that was representing the woman, secured a pretty big bag. But the point that I'm making here is this, and I want to pivot over because I'm gonna go over to the Daily Mail, and I want to break down because Tony Buzbee is slamming the ESPN star's claim that he targeted black men after settling the the $50 million lawsuit. Now, let me break down how women do this, right? And how these guys get finessed a lot of times because they simps, they suckers, they don't see a chick that's trying to finesse them. And I told guys while they were sitting there talking about how great snow bunnies are, how great they are when they're much younger. Listen, when you got motion, when you got clout, when you're visible, even when you're not, if you're just a man of significance, that can cost you. It can cost you a lot. Again, I don't believe that Shannon Sharpe did a lot of the things that they were accusing him of. I believe the goal was to finesse him from the very beginning, and that's why she had the recordings. And so a lot of times they see you coming. They see you coming from a mile away, and they already start setting the trap, and all you got to do is walk right into it. And because a lot of us guys don't know how to absolve ourselves from finding ourselves in a situation where chicks can finesse us because the only thing we see is the box, we see this type of situation happen. So it goes on to say Tony Buzbee, the high-profile lawyer who represented Shannon Sharpe's rape accuser, has hit back at the NFL legend's claims that he targets black men. Sharpe, the tight end turned ESPN star, recently settled the $50 million lawsuit. Obviously, per the Athletic, he's no longer with ESPN. identified as an ex-girlfriend, retracted her accusation. Now, remember, if somebody actually did something to this extent, right? If somebody actually did this to you, would you be looking to get justice for yourself, or would you only be looking to get a bag in order to retract a statement? Let's keep that in mind. Goes on to say the case filed in Nevada in April initially alleged that the Hall of Famer did that to Jane Doe on October 24th and then again in January. Sharpe denied the accusations, calling the lawsuit a shakedown, and back in April, he accused Buzbee of targeting black men. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. Sharpe said this is all being orchestrated by Tony Buzbee, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Buzbee targets black men. Buzbee has become one of America's most famous lawyers, having been at the center of big money cases involving the likes of Sean Diddy Combs and NFL quarterback Deshaun Watson. Goes on to say in recent years, Buzbee also sued BP over an oil spill, earning his firm more than $500 million and won a $640 million verdict in a wrongful death against one of the country's biggest crane companies. Buzbee was himself sued by Jay-Z for extortion and defamation, but the case was dismissed earlier this month. In response to Sharpe's claims or allegations, he told Esquire, I guess a bunch of old white men could say I'm targeting them, and a bunch of multinational corporations could say that I'm targeting them as well. I guess you could say I was targeting black people as well. I was probably targeting BP. I was targeting BP. He continued, I didn't wake up one morning and say I want to sue Shannon Sharpe. He has no relevance in my life, and he's throwing shots. I actually think he's very entertaining, and when he yells and screams and talk about sports that he's not involved in, but I think it's a legitimate case, but if I think it's a legitimate case, then I pursue it, and I think this is worth my time. So he is basically out here running up a bag. He's running up a bag, and he's one of those type of people. The only person that I've actually seen call out Tony Buzbee is Vlad. Vlad was the only person that called him out that I seen to his face on a Piers Morgan interview / debate, whatever. But the point is that when you are a public figure, you are a target. You are a target for lawsuits. You're a target for women. You're a target for visibility. And so when I say, yo, listen, all box ain't good box, that we have to have a level of discipline, that we can't find ourselves under duress or losing out on money, because that is money that should be allocated to our families. That is money that should be allocated to the people that are closest to us. That is money that should be allocated to us. We cannot, under any circumstance, there is no bag worth or no broad worth taking the risk of losing a bag over because she pretty or she beautiful or she young. I'm straight. I'm married to the game. I'm married to my money. I'm married to my purpose. I'm only humble to God. And so I focus 100% on those things. And that's the lesson that I think that we should get from this, is that the minute that you even get accused, your reputation, regardless of whether you did it or not, your reputation is enough to take. And then unfortunately, we also have people out here that's wishing on his downfall. I never wish for a man to lose a bag. I never wish for a man to die, and I would never wish for a man to go to jail without him having his day in court. And so, it's funny. I see people wishing bad on him. I see women talking down on him, saying that he deserved it. I don't think that he deserved it, but at the same time, there's always learned lessons that got to come along with it. I will keep you guys updated on everything that's happening in popular culture, especially when it comes to the money. But more importantly, we got to do things differently. We got to adjust because the demons is out there, and the lawyers are definitely making sure they get their day in court. I love you. I appreciate you. Y'all let me know what y'all think about Shannon Sharpe getting released from ESPN per The Athletic. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. Peace.